Hey guys, so Lloyd here, back again with another review, and at this point I'm pretty much just stalling on getting the rest of Origins Wave 7 up, but jokes aside, today we are taking a look at the Mattel Masters of WWE Eternia Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is the cyborg version of Stone Cold. The first version was released in the Snake Mountain Ring playset with a Hulk Hogan figure, I believe. And that one was cool. I think I kind of prefer this one just because it's a little bit more interesting. It's not just Stone Cold with some little snake attachment pieces on them, which those are cool. I like those, but I like this a little bit more. It just seems a little bit more interesting. But that said, he does come with a, if I can even find the right side up of this, a battle sheet. Not a comic, a battle sheet. Which, to give Mattel some credit, benefit of the doubt here, they did include a unique mini comic with every single one of these figures. So maybe by now, the budget just kind of went on this line. But I find that hard to believe. There you go. There's the battle sheet. And there's the back. This wave was very, very small. I think this is wave 8. Wave 7 or 8. And it was a figure short. I don't know why that is. There was never a wave with 5 figures in it. This wave only had Stone Cold here, China, and Rey Mysterio. Would have been nice if they made Hulk Hogan available as a single release, because as of this point in time, he is exclusive to the ring set, so you can't get him any other way. We all know that John Cena and Triple H were both available as single releases, and now Stone Cold. So kind of sucks that there isn't another way to get Hulk Hogan. I wasn't really planning on doing that anyways, but at the end of the day, I do like this line. It kind of sucks to see it kind of go, you know, they're not planning on doing any more of these. They're just planning to use the kind of He-Man buck to make regular looking wrestlers. And I'm okay with that, but I kind of like this line more. It got me to buy wrestling figures. I mean, I wouldn't have bought a Triple H or a Stephanie McMahon otherwise, so there you go. That said, I don't know if I'll be getting any more of these just because the secondary market prices are just bonkers. Unless the prices go down and I can pick up a couple of the ones I missed, like Jake the Snake and The Fiend and maybe Finn Balor and Sting. Or, if they come back in stock on Big Bad Toy Store, I would like to get Andre the Giant, Sergeant Slaughter, and a Bret the Hitman Hart. Probably Bret the Hitman Hart more so than anybody because he is a Triclops homage and that's pretty cool. But what are you going to do, right? But as far as accessories not on Stone Cold's person, he does come with a hook hand. And this kind of follows the same route as Kane, where he only comes with 2 of the attachments, which kind of sucks. I would have liked all 3. I think Kane could have used some kind of fire axe, and this guy could have used some kind of, I don't know, snake venom blaster. Because I think he still has the snake eyes going on here. But that said, he does come with a lot of extra parts, like the vest, the belt. The jaw is actually a separate piece. And then, of course, the claw here, you could take it out. It's cool. It's a nice silver. So it should give you an idea of what a mini comic trap jaw is going to look like. If we actually are able to get a hold of that figure. But I've taken this jaw piece off. It just kind of slips on. It's packaged with it. Or he's packaged with it. So, that's fine. Fine and dandy. Kind of wish it had some teeth on it. It looked a little tougher, but whatever. But there's Stone Cold without it. I can't tell if he has the little snake eyes or not. I have yet to take a picture of this dude and kind of zoom in on the face sculpt there, but I'll be doing that later, so I'll find out soon enough. Excuse me, I am just exhausted lately. I think I might need to take a week or something off. I'm just so beat and burnt out and whooped and wiped out and pooped and all the adjectives for tired. I don't know why. It sucks balls. I hate it. It's annoying and stupid, but whatever, I guess. Kind of borderline miserable most of the time. That probably don't help, but who cares, right? Uh, emo lord aside, as far as articulation on this guy goes, his head will look up, will look down, will tilt side to side, and also rotate. Nice tight noggin on him, too. The joints on this guy are actually pretty solid. I would say a little bit more so than Wave 7, which is kind of ironic. But his shoulder does go out, go back down, rotates around. He's got a single joint in the elbow with the rotation. I don't believe this is this a He-Man gauntlet? Or is this a new gauntlet? I can't tell. He does have a wrist swivel and a hinge, though. He's got a waist swivel. He's got the skull and crossbones belt. I think this is reused from Trapjaw. I know these legs kind of are. Oh, these are reused from Kane. Trapjaw has a little bit more sculpt going on, but he's got the up and down, in and out. And he has a single hinge in the knee with rotation. Knees are pretty tight on mine. They're not too loose. I mean, that's got a little bit of give to it, but he can stand. That's not that big of a deal. He's got a boot swivel. He's got a hinge in the foot, which gets little to no range, even in the rocker. So, is he perfect? No. Especially this robot arm here. You can't really pose it at all. It's got the hinge, but really you're just going to want to hinge it and then plug it back in. And furthermore, that can be easier said than done. So, you could pose it out like that, but you're going to have to put it back in. It just seems to hit on everything up in here. That's what it does. There's no way around it. You can pose it out about that far. But other than that, yeah, you're not going to get a ton of range out of this thing. I would advise putting the vest over top of this, then plugging it in. That way it doesn't get caught on here. But that can also be easier said than done. This vest overall could have been a little bit bigger. Just a smidge, because it does have kind of the indentation for where you can store the weapons on the belt, but it's very cumbersome to work with. So, take that into consideration if you pick this guy up. He is a little bit tricky to work around. He's not the easiest figure to pose. And let me just show you what I mean by the arms here. Take that off. First and foremost, you could take this, plug it in like that. There you go. Now you got the arm plugged in. It will fit. I mean, you can get some posing out of it. But again, you're going to have to just pop it in and out yourself and then pose it, because it'll probably stay in like that with the vest on. But it is very difficult to pose with the vest on and even attached to this body, because the Trapjaw figure had a specific port for this arm. This body really doesn't. So it is tricky. It does kind of pop out. It can be frustrating, but I've managed to not get too annoyed with it. Which, if you're like me and have very minimal patience, that's a goal and a half. But you could do it. It's not that bad. I've definitely had worse as far as these Origins, Masters of WWE style figures go. Um, as far as looseness, so I'm not going to complain. I still think he looks cool. It's just he's a little tricky to work around. Just seems like this figure was a bit of an afterthought. They wanted to make a Stone Cold for the retail or the I guess is it basic assortment? Because these guys seem a little bit more deluxe than some Origins even. I'll give him the hook. I always like the hook more. But actually, if you want to get crazy here, you can give him the Cane Blaster. That's an option. Which I think that looks kind of cool. I thought this blast effect was green for some reason, but it's not. But there you go. It's got the blaster cannon arm. You could give him that, or you can give him the I like to call the Titty Twister of Doom. You can give him that. Add a little bit more color to him. Kind of have it go with the bracelet over here. He's got the black attachments. Or, you could even go so far as to give him the trap jaw parts. That's always an option too. I do have him sitting here. Hold on. The blaster. Because he doesn't come with the blaster, which is kind of... Again, I don't know why they stiffed him on the attachments, but they did. You can give him the trap jaw blaster if you want to do that too. That's an option. There you go. He's got the trap jaw blaster. I think these are pretty much the same molds as trap jaw, albeit maybe the claw's different. Let me check. The hook's pretty much the same. Is the claw? No, the claw's the same. The claw is the same. And the hook actually fell out of my trap jaw. Hold on. There we go. That's better. Alrighty. But, you can mix and match the attachments, which I think is cool. Much like a lot of the other parts on these figures. But I think when you can do something like that, it gives you a little bit more variety. You can have Trap Jaw with a gun, you can have Kane with a claw, you can have this guy with a hook. That's kind of what I've got going on right now. Even though the blaster's not my favorite thing for Trap Jaw, it looks a little clunky when it's on the belt. Not gonna lie, it looks better when it's attached to him. So, there you go. It's got the hook hand though. I like the hook hand the most. The hook hand's the loosest though. That's what kind of sucks. So I might need to do a little heat warp here. Get that to sit in there better, but I guess it's not that big a deal. That or I'll just use the Cane Blaster, because that stays in there, but yeah, that's a loose fit, to say the very least. That's about my only gripe as far as looseness goes. That hook's not the tightest in there, but it's staying. It's not going anywhere. I guess at the end of the day, I could just put some paper or something in there. Keep it from falling out. But I don't think it's going to. Forgot to mention also he's got peg holes on the bottom of his feet. Yeah, that's Stone Cold in a nutshell. Probably went on longer than I needed to, but it's kind of the end of the line here. I don't know if I'll be getting any more of these just because the secondary market prices are absolutely nuts, and some of you guys out there kind of suck because you need to hoard these for whatever reason. I guess get off on having stuff that people don't have, and that's not really cool. That's pretty lame, actually. Save some for the rest of us. As Toy Galaxy always said, if you find two, leave one for the next collector. Don't be a jerk. So, with that being said, let us now take a look at some comparisons. First up here is Stone Cold, next to a couple other figures from the Masters of WWE Eternia line. We have the Undertaker, the Dead Man Walking, and Kane, the Demonic Red Machine. Probably my favorites from this line, although I do need to See if I can't have that boot on Undertaker dremeled out. He stands kind of weird. Just doesn't seem to be dremeled out all the way. But Kane is probably the best example I have from this line. The tightest joints, the best overall quality. The Triple H is actually pretty good too. But as far as a figure you can just pick up and mess with, that Kane is a really, really solid one. Getting Undertaker out of here. Again, Undertaker's my end-all, be-all of wrestlers. He is my favorite. He's my number one guy. I love the Taker. But Kane is a close second. Sting is my third favorite, but I didn't really care for his figure in this line too much. I would have preferred if they went with more Crow look or just said screw it and gave him two clawful hands. But there's Trapjaw, what Stone Cold's kind of homaging here. And as I said before with Trapjaw, his torso's kind of made for this arm. So it's got more of a, it's more cut out here. So you can hinge the arm a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Freely, without it popping off. So, take that for what it's worth. You could probably do that on Stone Cold if you loosen it a bit. I don't want to do that, the hinge. I don't want to do that because I don't want to risk loosening up the elbow because the elbow rotation isn't as tight as the rest of the joints on the arm. I will say, though, the elbow hinge on Stone Cold here, I did not have to use any kind of lubricant to loosen that up. Trapjaw, I had to heat the arm up. It felt like you're going to break it if you didn't do that. So I will say that is a plus. That's one thing I am very happy to report about this Stone Cold figure. But other than that, I wouldn't say he does anything really better than Trapjaw here. You guys know me, though. I'm a little bit more biased towards Motu because I love me some Motu. I will say, if anything, I would have liked if the jaw was hinged on Stone Cold here. But then you wouldn't have been able to take it off and just have a regular-looking one, albeit with a robot arm. But hey, that's better than nothing, right? And last, but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus and the MK11 Spawn, who, as usual, towers over everyone. So with that being said, time to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and while I know that this isn't the best that the Masters of the WWE line had to offer, I would say there are probably some stronger releases that I unfortunately missed out on. I'm going to say that this guy, I think he gets a bad rap. I think he is pretty cool, albeit you got to get one with a decent QC on it. Shout out to T-Biz, one of the poor unfortunate souls who did not. But with that being said, if you're willing to work with it, it's kind of a figure you got to get used to messing around with, because you can pose him. I mean, I got him posed up pretty well here, and he looks cool. He looks tough when you got him posed up, but he's just kind of cumbersome to work with. And that's not something we're really used to seeing with this line. We're used to just being able to bust him out the package and just mess around with him. This guy, you kind of got to work it a bit. You got to finesse things. You got to be cautious with it so you don't pop something out. That said, that's something I'm used to doing with figures like Mythic Legions or the NECA Goliath or even some Spawn figures, the older Spawn figures. You gotta kind of finesse them. You gotta pose them just right so the stuff doesn't pop apart. So with that being said, if you are willing to have a little patience and take your time with this guy, I think he is one of the coolest figures in the line. I really dig this guy. I think he's awesome. He looks cool. And I really wanted a Stone Cold, and I didn't want to buy the ring set, so I'm happy to add this guy to my Masters of WWE Eternia collection. That said, I kind of want to do a top 10 of these, but I don't have 10 of these. I have this guy. I have Triple H and Mr. T, courtesy of Mr. T-Biz. Once again, shout out to T-Biz. I have The Undertaker, Kane, and Stephanie McMahon. I mean, that's, what, 6? I have Rey Mysterio, but I'm getting rid of him. I got him for the blue harness and red wings for Stratos, but the red wings suck on that figure. That said, I would like to pick up some more of these. I wouldn't mind having Sting, Finn Balor, the Fiend, Jake the Snake, the Bret the Hitman Hart, Andre the Giant. Those figures I would like to have, but gosh darn it. You hoarders and your secondary market prices, they keep me from loving a line as much as I would like to. And I'm not even the biggest wrestling guy. I got these strictly because they were Master of the Universe homages. But at the end of the day, when you take my favorite wrestler, The Undertaker, and mash him up with my favorite Masters character of all time, freaking Scareglow, how can I not buy that? I mean, seriously. Seriously! That said, I hope that the regular wrestling line that's utilizing these bucks has a little bit better distribution? Question mark. Is that really the problem, or is it just the fact that people suck and need to make a quick buck off of somebody, or just don't know when to stop buying the same figure over and over and over again? I mean, I have the same problem with the retro Spider-Man from Marvel Legends. You guys hoarded that and scalped it, and now it's almost $200. Well, you better flip it quick, because at the end of the year, that thing's going to be worth zip. So, yeah, it's coming back to bite you in the keister, to say the very least. Sorry, but I get salty with crap like that because it's not right, it shouldn't happen, and it's freaking lame, dude. There's no reason for that. There's no reason for it. Nothing calls for that. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review slash rant. Slish. I could use a slish right now. A slishy. God dang it. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you are so inclined, please hit that notification bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one. I swear I'll be a little bit more awake for the rest of the week. I won't be like half awake, as it were. But we got to show that algorithm who's boss regardless, right? And if you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. Because Stone Cold Steve Austin said so. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Again, hopefully more awake. Oh boy.